So we're at the end of the month today, and I wanted to just come and talk to you about what I do at the end of every single month and why I think it's so important that you go and you review and you audit and how to do that. So one of the things that I've just shared recently with my Stable Foundations Hub Plus members is some sheets that I've been using for my Nail It Mastermind. And I keep mine in a folder like this because I just print them off, but they're also something that I do in my Nail It 90-day planner. And I think especially like now we're at February and we're coming into March and we are moving up to the end of the quarter, it can be so easy at this stage to think, oh, it's not work like what I said in January isn't working. I'm just going to shift and I'm going to change my strategy. And that's a really dangerous point to be at. So I want to make sure that we actually stick to what we said we were going to do and we see it out, especially when it gets bumpy and it's tough and we want to go back or we don't want to actually finish the job properly. So one of the things that I always do in my plans is I always do a monthly review at the end of the month. So I have this little sheet. I like to do it. I like to sit down and just write it. It just makes, I don't know, I've tried to type it. I do have a sheet that I share with my Nail It Mastermind that is a like spreadsheet that you can fill out. But for some reason, we've found that actually just sitting and pen and paper make a massive difference. And it means you can just go away and you can sit down. And one of the things we do is we start off with a monthly review. Then I do an exercise to help people just reconnect to their vision, reconnect to their goals and the things that they'd planned. And then we go and we plan out the month ahead. And this just makes such a massive difference. So I'm going to talk you through some of the questions that I ask. So when it comes to the monthly review, like I say, this is something that is shared with my Stable Foundations Hub Plus members, which is my closed membership. But you can join the Stable Foundations Hub, which is open all year round, and it's just £7 a month. But this is something that I just shared exclusively for my Hub Plus members. So what I would do is I'd just sit down and then I'd get the sheets. And it's just printable. So it's actually these specific sheets is what you get. And so I asked, so like in the monthly review, it's like, where are you in comparison with where you expected to be? So go and have a look at what you decided you wanted to do last month and just go, am I there? Because sometimes, I don't know about you, but I've hit places where I've thought that I hadn't achieved much. I thought that I hadn't done very well. And actually, I was pretty on track. But for some reason, my own, I don't know what it is. You know, sometimes you just get sort of stuck in your own way. And in my own way, I decided that I hadn't, but actually I had. So go and actually look and write it down. Where are you in comparison to where you expect to be? And then I want you to ask yourself, did you face any blocks or challenges over the last month? And does anything need to change? That has something come up that actually you need to change? Because when it comes to our goals and what we're trying to achieve in our businesses, there are going to be times when we do need to change things. We do need to change things, and change is part of the process too, but we need to make sure that we're not just changing it based on what we feel, we're changing it based on what we know. So are there any blocks or challenges? That's question number 2. And then have you encountered any new opportunities that also changed the course? So has anything actually come up that's made you go, wow, that's brilliant, or what happened there, anything new? And then to actually ask yourself what you've learned this month. So even if you actually go, I didn't hit my goals, I didn't hit my targets, I'm nowhere where I want to be, actually what have you learned? And look at that in the positive. Like, have you learned how to have you learned that you just need to give yourself more time? Have you learned that actually you need to learn more things? Have you learned that you need to do more skills? What have you learned? There's always a lesson. And I'm often telling my children, you either get the result you wanted or you get the lesson you needed. And so that is very key. Take some time out to do that. Then you're going to revisit your milestones and just go through your goals. So that's really important for me, is to go back to your goals, read through them. I like to read through them as much as possible. Go back through those and see, has anything changed? Have you achieved any goals? Have your plans, have your priorities changed? Because they do. I know for me, one of my goals a few years ago was I wanted to go to Disney World again. I absolutely love Disney World. Sorry if you don't love Disney, but I do. I love Disney World. And I wanted to go back again. And my plan was to go back for my 40th. Now, I turned 40 last year in 21. And we couldn't go. Yeah, so my plans had to change. So yeah, things happen. That's fine, but just be aware of that. Don't Sometimes it's out of our control. Have you discovered that you need anything? Do you need more resources? Do you need more skills? Do you need more support? And do you feel balanced, enjoying the ride? And then I go through my Gallup framework. So if you haven't heard about my Gallup framework are basically the 6 essential steps that you need to take in all businesses. And you can find out more about that if you head probably to get my free planner. And I'll if you want the free planner, let me know and I'll send you the free planner. And yeah, it's about getting in front of people, applying your aids to sell, looking after you, mega important, looking after your clients, operations and processes, profit and finances. And then I like to say, what was your biggest win this month? And actually find a win and reward yourself. It's really important. I ask every single month my clients, what are you going to do to reward yourself? What are you going to do to actually, because when we feel like we're getting those rewards, we actually make more progress. So the next thing that I have in my planner is I just go through a calendar and I just look at what I've got planning coming ahead, and then we do the plan for the month ahead. So at this point is where I would say, sit down, go through what you're actually trying to achieve, reconnect to your vision, reconnect to what matters to you. So if you've done my Equine Business Planner, you'll know that I prompt you on those questions. So maybe now is the time before you plan the month ahead to go back to your planner and just read through what you said. Are you still there? Is that still what you want? Yeah, make that decision. And then from that space, when you feel grounded and you know what you want, then plan your month ahead. Too often we jump into planning the month ahead without actually reconnecting to what it was that we wanted. And then we find that actually we just end up going with the motions, getting on that hamster wheel, and then we don't enjoy the month. We don't get what we want from our businesses. So plan the month ahead, and then for the month ahead, I ask, like, what 3 things do you want to achieve in the next 30 days? Like, really, really important, just 3. Like, if you can hit 3 things this month, that's pretty awesome. But what 3 things would you really like to achieve in the next 30 days? Are there 3 things that you'd like to achieve in 60 days? Because sometimes if you get those 30 days things done, you might actually be able to hit some of the ones that you want to do for the next month. Where do you want to be by the end of the next month? What is your absolute minimum? And so that's a really important question, because when you do your review again, you've already answered where you wanted to be. So you can answer the question, am I where I expected to be? Because you said where you wanted to be. Really important. And then how much time do you have to work on your business? And this is so important, is to be realistic. So often I see people setting, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And actually they know that they're working they're working with clients, maybe they're going out to see people, maybe they're teaching, and they're doing that 30 hours a week. They realistically don't have the time to do it. And then they beat themselves up because they haven't achieved what they wanted to. So how much time do you have to work on your business, and how are you going to set that time aside? And then just make any notes for the month ahead, and that's really important. And then again, I go through the Gallup Framework. What are you going to do to get in front of people? How are you going to apply your aids to sell this month? How are you going to look after you? How are you going to look after your clients? How are you going to make sure that your back end of your business and your operations is working well? And how are you going to make sure that your profit and your finances are managed? And then, of course, set your reward. Yeah, at that point, set your reward. What are you going to do when you achieve this? How will you feel? How will you know that you have that success? What would that mean to you? And step into that now, because that's going to then give you the momentum to actually move forward over the next month. So I hope that's been a useful little tip video. If you'd like to find out more about the Stable Foundations Hub, simply head to www.stablefoundationshub.com and you will find out more about everything that's included in the Stable Foundations Hub. And of course, if you want to get into the Plus membership, it is closed, but stay tuned so that you can get onto that, and then you can get access to these planning sheets. But for now, I hope this has been useful. Go and get your review done for the month. Go and plan the month ahead, and let's keep you on track for 2022. See you soon. Let's get you on track. See you soon.